Our reading today is from Romans chapter 10, reading verses 8 to 15. But what does it say? The word is near you. It is in your mouth and in your heart. That is the message concerning faith that we proclaim. If you declare with your mouth, Jesus is Lord, and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. For it is with your heart that you believe and are justified, and it is with your mouth that you profess your faith and are saved. As Scripture says, anyone who believes in him will never be put to shame, for there is no difference between Jew and Gentile. The same Lord is Lord of all, and richly blesses all who call on him. For everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. How then can they call on the one they haven't believed in? And how can they believe in the one of whom they have not heard? And how can they hear without someone preaching to them? And how can anyone preach unless they are sent? As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of those who bring good news. A few weeks ago, my wife Hilary and I were invited to join a 24 hours international Zoom, where friends and others from almost 50 countries around the globe were giving thanks and inviting us to pray about all that God is doing in some of the most unlikely corners of our troubled world. We shared in prayer, we sang some worship songs, we listened to stories of transformed lives from those who are working to help children, young people, and families to discover that Jesus is Lord. As John Stott has written, Jesus is Lord is the earliest and simplest of all Christian creeds. Advent heralds our waiting for the coming of King Jesus. The hymn of praise, Jesus is Lord, reminds us that creation's voice proclaims it, the universe declares it, and these words echo the divine discovery for many in our world today, that God is Lord of all, and richly blesses all who call on him. As James Dunn has written, the confession, Jesus is Lord, puts Christ right at the centre. In these days of Advent, where will we put him? In the passage we've just read, Paul raises 4 questions. Read them again and reflect. How might we respond to these questions in Advent? How can we help others hear and believe? Have we declared that Jesus is Lord through our life choices and our spoken words? Jesus is Lord. And as we hold to that great affirmation, and in the current restrictions and constraints that we are currently facing, are we not, in the words of the prophet Zechariah, prisoners of hope?